Crisis counselors are on standby today in a small city near Boise, Idaho, after multiple people were killed in a shooting at an In-N-Out burger restaurant. Police say the suspected gunman is also dead, but are not yet saying how he died. The owner of the fast food chain says one of its employees was among those killed.
So there are actually multiple reports out that say the gunman shot himself. There was an engagement point, and we'll get more than that in a minute. It's not clear if the gunman was actually shot when that engagement took place. Most are saying that it wasn't, but it was enough to have stopped the rampage shooting that he was in the process of carrying out. So again, 3 people killed, 7 injured. Some are critical still, so that body count may go up. And as you heard, the In-N-Out president said that she did confirm that one of their associates was killed while serving customers. What a sad, sad day. I talked the other day about retail people and the folks out there that are doing a, kind of a thankless job, not getting paid a lot of money. And can you imagine, losing one of your loved ones or losing your life serving hamburgers and flipping fries? So that's really, really sad. They say the shooter had an AR-style rifle. Really naturally bad video again, so we really don't know at this point. Obviously, it does appear to be that style of rifle, but we just don't know any more than that on that. But let me talk about Jordan Salinas. This is the good guy with a gun. Remember, we're told that this never happens, even though, how do you document a negative? It's said that there's hundreds of thousands or possibly 1 to 2 million instances a year where good guys with a gun either thwart, stop a crime, whatever, chase away a bad guy who is attacking them somehow. But we're also told this never happens. Again, you don't usually record it. And quite frankly, if you stop something, in many cases, most people, because of the paperwork, the log jam, and the stupidity of dealing with people who already don't want to be there filling out paperwork, most people don't report whenever they stop a crime with a firearm. So it goes unreported lots of times. In this case, we have footage of it. Otherwise, maybe we wouldn't hear about this either. It appears that our hero in this case is Jordan Salinas. Again, Jordan engaged. Obviously, you see him here shooting his FN-57 suppressed. Not sure if he actually hit the shooter who was killing people, but he definitely stopped it. Because once he engaged this guy stopped going after other people trying to shoot them. And then he started to return fire. You can see in the video he was returning fire at Jordan Salinas. So that definitely stopped it. And shortly thereafter is when it was supposedly he shot himself. So clearly Jordan Salinas, whether he hit this gunman or not, I don't care. He stopped this shooting. You can define it however you want, and people are going to say that. You're going to have the wackos on the left that are going to say, oh, Jordan didn't stop it. He was endangering other people's lives too because he was out shooting in public. The guy killed himself. That's what stopped it. No, 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 no. You and I both know this guy's attention was redirected because someone engaged him who was there and did not run the other way, by the way. Did not even seek really good cover. He just saw an opportunity to try to stop this guy and took it. That is bravery, guys. That is absolute bravery. Now, interesting choice of a carry gun. Not sure if that was more than likely in his vehicle being suppressed like that. Wouldn't you think? That's just my opinion. But no matter what, this guy could have got in his vehicle and left the location, and no one would have ever known any better. But he didn't. He engaged. Now, this is another reason why the left is going to hate this story. They do not like good guys engaging bad guys. Makes them mad. Why does it make them mad? They want a higher body count. Don't let them fool you. They don't want fewer people shot. They don't make any money. If only one person, if one person would have been grazed, let alone killed, kind of hard to fundraise off of that. I mean, you can, kind of hard to do that. This dude engaged and stopped this where 3 people are dead right now, 7 injured. It could have been 20 or 30 if this guy, Jordan Salinas, had not interrupted this rampage shooting. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the additional video. This guy did have his own, it appears to be a YouTube channel out there, and he did train. He trained with his FN-57. In fact, he trained with his P90 also. So apparently he was a fan of the FN brand and the 5.7 round. But he's got a few videos out there. Obviously, we talk about it all the time, being ready. This guy was ready. And this guy wasn't just Instagram ready. This guy was ready. Because when it did come that time, the percentages that you and I will never likely in our lifetime see of us being in this type of situation where we engage a bad guy, Jordan Salinas, well, those percentages ramped up really quick for him. And he, again, did not disengage and run. I hope he's recognized in an appropriate way. I know the further northwest you get, the more wackadoodle these people get up there as far as local officials. This dude's got to be recognized somehow. Because, again, he was in an area, a food court type area, like shopping malls, strip malls. There was a lot of people he could have shot there. A lot. In fact, you see in some of the videos, the cars passing by on the street. This dude could have started shooting at vehicles on the side of the road. But this dude, Jordan Salinas, engaged him and put an end to this thing. And I think we're very lucky and fortunate that we don't have a much higher body count. Now, I want to address something real quick because we hear it all the time, again, from the wackos on the far left. We have those out there that want to convince us not to carry a firearm for self-defense. Why? And I hear it from people who are probably in the middle of the road, but they're not gun people. They've asked me this before. Well, if you carry a gun and something happens in public, aren't you afraid that whenever the cops show up, if you have a gun, they're going to shoot you first? And I'm like, no. First of all, it takes a long time for law enforcement to show up. Even in this case, everything was over with. It wasn't law enforcement who took this dude out. This big gaggle of cops crossing the street were there well after this thing took place. So Mr. Jordan Salinas was not in danger because he was not still out there ripping off shots from his 5.7. He was done. He did what he had to do and the other guy killed himself. It's an absolute made-up myth that just simply doesn't happen. I think I've read of one instance ever that I looked into a few years back where somebody got shot who was allegedly the good guy. And then whenever the story got a little bit deeper, you found out these guys were actually fighting. So maybe he wasn't quite so good after all. But he didn't do what he was supposed to do when law enforcement showed up, right? He still appeared to be a threat. For the most part, everything's gonna be over, said, and done. It's unlikely law enforcement will ever roll up on a full-blown shootout. Because in most cases, the bad guys are either going to start running once the cops get there, or they're going to start shooting at who? The cops. So you're not going to have this back and forth and the cops are standing over here going, which guy do I shoot at? No, probably the guy shooting at you at that point, that's the one you return fire to. The other guy won't be shooting at you. This is definitely a very fluid situation as far as things are changing. They still don't want to talk about the actual shooter. You know the drill there. If they don't want to talk about the actual shooter, he's probably not the one they want him to be. He's probably not a card-carrying Trump MAGA dude. So he's probably got a foreign last name. He's probably celebrates a different religion or is involved in a different type of culture. It's going to be something they want to protect. Hell, he might even be pretending that he's a woman for all I know. But if they're not letting us know, we're not getting any information other than the video we've seen of him. The longer they protect this dude's identity, the more we know it's not the type of person that they want to hang this on. Now, real quick, if you guys will indulge me, I want to talk a little bit about another hero real quick that happened this week. Heroic things, in my opinion, don't happen too often in this country. I know there's good people doing nice things for people, and we say, oh, not all heroes wear capes. I'm talking about true heroes who are saving people's lives, like Jordan Salinas did. We had another one earlier this week, too, and to me, this is like lightning striking twice. It just doesn't happen very often. Again, maybe I have a really low expectation for people in this country these days, but Ryder Williams, a 16-year-old lifeguard out in Santa Cruz, there was a 10-year-old struggling, and I don't know why they let these people out in these massively aggressive surfs like this, but they did. Luckily, there were lifeguards on duty, and luckily one of them was Ryder Williams. A 10-year-old got caught up in the surf and was drowning, and Ryder Williams went out there and got a death grip on this kid, would not let him go. People tried to help him, and they couldn't help, and they were bigger, looked like to be older than Ryder Williams also. But Ryder Williams never let go of this 10-year-old. He fought to get this 10-year-old to shore safely. Again, battling those same waves that took this 10-year-old out to sea. Amazing, amazing, amazing bravery. I just want to make sure I include that because that's not something I would have normally done a separate video on. But big, big ups for Jordan Salinas and Ryder Williams this week, coming through with the big hero stuff like that. That's big time, big time, big time. So hopefully we learn more about both those guys as the days go forward. More on this In-N-Out burger shooting in Idaho as details reveal themselves. I just want to give you guys a quick update on what we know so far. Guys, if you liked the video, please hit that like button. Make sure you comment down below if you do like the video, and make sure you are subscribed to Legally Armed America. We will see you guys again tomorrow. Don't forget, guys, if you're looking for a book to educate yourself and to educate the idiots out there who can't think for themselves regarding mass shootings, go to damnliars.net. Again, damnliars.net, and get my brand new book, Damn Liars.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
It's hanging around.